way,
No, no.
provided that this was done humanely and with dignity. And then the example was there could be like a nice farewell party, a real celebration. Mom and Dad had done a good job, and then after the
We went pretty
party's
far
over,
back.
take the so that this would make of it remaining in solo practice, remaining independent, which parenthetically or place you can run wherever you are. As he put it, people will be running all over the place.
People will be running all over.
Religion.
People will be
These
running all
these
over.
damn goyim will be running all over the place.
I know. Oh god. Yeah, definitely have to edit this.
Oh, Sean, that's probably a buzzword, huh?
Mm-hmm.
My bad, girl. I'm so bad at that.
Yeah, we have to be on YouTube our best behavior.
I love you, YouTube. I don't mean it if I ever offend you. I'm only kidding.
Luckily you couldn't really like hear. Yes, we're back. God.
We
So
back.
annoying.
It's all right. They can't stop us.
I know. That's okay. We're getting back in it. Okay, so we had some technical issue. The live like cut out, but it's okay because at least we have that one tape. So that one side. So if anything happens, we'll have that back.
Did you? Doom has a good comment. He said, "Don't leave me, Layla. Not after I taped your picture to my pillow." Kidding. Bill Cosby smile. What?
Kidding, Bill Cosby style. Oh shit.
We believe that you're kidding. Not. I like you, Doom. You're a funny guy. I gotta say.
I like how Dude Man said puberty instead of puberty.
Puberty. That's a new one. Puberty.
I know. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to share this live again. We'll get some more people back.
Yeah. I'm sure. It's just need to finish it out.
How much time do we have left on it?
We have 16 minutes and 43
Perfect.
seconds. Yeah, and then we'll
Beautiful.
close it out.
Yeah, sounds
It's
good.
kinda serious. Okay.
New world order.
New
Order.
order. I know we should play the
Remember
beginning.
Dude, I used to do that. I used to do that on my live. New world order. Beta world order. Beta.
Seeing the truth through the
Time to take the
lies.
world over. The beta male. New world order. They won't win their betas.
The truth shall set you free. Okay. Oh my
How do you guys
god.
like our new theme song? How do you like
I
our
know.
new theme song?
That's literally the new theme song.
We worked on that last night. Layla helped me write that for a really long time. We put a lot of thought into it.
If you don't see, okay, you're gonna see that on my next video, Instagram post, short. You're gonna see that that music.
Well, for the love of goodness, don't popularize that.
They did the best they could. Okay, let's get back into it. Okay, so this guy, the first part of the video we did the intro to this doctor, and basically he's laying out the New World Order plan, but in the late 80s.
Should I hit it again, Layla? You want me to read it one more time or no? Probably not.
No,
right?
it's okay. They have to watch the first one, but based on everything you heard in a lecture for other doctors, like physicians in Pittsburgh.
A man named Dr. Day did the lecture in 1969. So, yeah, we out here.
Let's go.
He said, there is now a way to simulate a real heart attack.
All right, so this
In the home.
We're getting into like the running
How you
shoes
want to live longer.
conspiracy.
Somewhere along in here, there's also something
Amazing.
about accelerating the onset of puberty.
Puberty.
And
He did say
said
puberty.
in connection with health.
Love
and
it.
later, in connection with education, and connected to accelerating the process of evolutionary change. There was a statement that we think we can push evolution faster and in the direction we want it to go. I remember this only as a general statement. I don't recall if any details were given beyond that. Another area of discussion was religion. This is an avowed atheist speaking. And he said, religion is not necessarily bad. A lot of people seem to need religion with its mysteries and rituals, so they will have religion. But the major religions of today have to be changed because they are not compatible with the changes to come. The old religions will have to go, especially Christianity. Once the Roman...
Here we go.
Especially
watch
Christianity?
The Bible's about to get real interesting to you guys.
Thanks for the likes. Yeah, everybody coming back in. Like the video. Especially Christians. Wow.
Roman Catholic Church is brought down. The rest of Christianity will follow easily. Then a new religion can be accepted for use all over the world. It will incorporate something from all of the old ones to make it more easy for people to accept it and feel at home in it. Most people won't be too concerned with religion. They will realize that they don't need it. In order to do this, the Bible will be changed. It will be rewritten to fit the new religion. Gradually, key words will be replaced with new words having various shades of meaning. Then the meaning attached to the new word can be close to the old word, and as time goes on, other shades of meaning of that word can be emphasized, and then gradually that word replaced with another word. I don't know if I'm making that clear, but the idea is that everything in Scripture need not be rewritten, just key words replaced by other words, and the variability in meaning attached to any word can be used as a tool to change the entire meaning of Scripture and therefore make it acceptable to this new religion. Most people won't know the difference, and this was another one of the times where he said the few who do notice the difference won't be enough to matter. Then followed one of the most surprising statements of the whole presentation. He said, some of you probably think the churches won't stand for this. And he went on to say, the churches will help us. There is no elaboration on this. It was unclear just what he had in mind when he said the churches will help us.
Now that
in retrospect, I think some of us now can understand what he might have meant at that time. I recall then only of thinking, no, they won't, and remembering our Lord's words where he said to Peter, thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. So, yes, some people in the churches might help, and in the subsequent 20 years we've seen how some people in churches have helped. But we also know that our Lord's words will stand, and the gates of hell will not prevail. Another area of discussion was education, and one of the things in connection with education that I remember connecting with what he said about religion was, in addition to changing the Bible, he said that classics in literature would be changed. I seem to recall Mark Twain's writings was given as one example, but he said the casual reader reading a revised version of a classic would never even suspect there was any change, and somebody would have to go through word by word to even recognize that any change was made in these classics. The changes would be so subtle, but the changes would be such as to promote the acceptability of the new system. As regards education, the indication...
Oh my God, that was a lot. That was a lot to unpack. The churches helping them. The churches drove people to get the jab. I mean, the education, the Mandela effect, where things change We remember it differently.
Mhm.
Call it out. This is play by play. It's really interesting.
The
that
smoking gun of
kids
the New World Order.
Yeah, literally.
would spend more time in schools, but in many schools they wouldn't learn anything.
Yeah,
They'll
it's the
learn
story of my
some
life.
things,
That's
but
why I
not.
was so pissed.
God.
That's the
They
story of my life. He just summed it up right there.
spend more time in schools, but they're not going to learn anything.
I was
Like,
so
they're
pissed as a
not.
kid because of that. I'm like, you guys are making me waste my time in here. You say I'm smart, but I don't. This is not smart to be doing.
This is not smart to be doing. I totally agree.
As much as formerly. Better schools in better areas with better people, their kids will learn more. In the better schools, learning would be accelerated. And this was another time where he said, we think we can push evolution. By pushing kids to learn more, he seemed to be suggesting that their brains would evolve and that their offspring then would evolve, sort of pushing evolution in where kids would learn and be more intelligent at a younger age, as if this pushing would alter their physiology. Overall, schooling would be prolonged.
Boom.
This meant prolonged throughout the school year. I'm not sure what he said about a long school day. I do remember he said that school was planned to go all summer, that the summer school vacation would become a thing of the past, not only for schools but for other reasons. People would begin to think of vacation times year-round, not just in the summer.
That's an interesting
most
side
people,
product
it
of
would
that. You
take
know what I mean?
longer to.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. That's like a wrinkle that you. I mean, this is. I'm not even like a religious person or anything, but this is like literally evil incarnate to be able to come up with these kind of plans and schemes.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not evil, I don't know what is.
Yeah, they're definitely thinking on another level. Like, people don't even think to this, like, level of complexity. Like,
You
they
can't
just
imagine
don't.
it. You can't fathom it. Like that this is occurring. All this. It's such deep plot.
Yeah, and the way they can do this type of thinking is they use all the different thinking methods that are necessary that we're not privy to. Like, people don't think like this at all.
We're gonna expose them. We're gonna out them.
Yeah.
Complete their education to get what originally had been in a bachelor's program would now require advanced degrees and more schooling. So that a lot of school time would be just wasted time. Good schools would become more competitive. I inferred when he said that he was including all schools, elementary up through college, but I don't recall whether he said that. Students would have to decide at a younger age what they would want to study and get onto their track early if they would qualify. It would be harder to change to another field of study once you got started. Studies would be concentrated in.
Yeah, I agree, Club Rico. This does sound like advanced AI, like planning all these things out, like just doing all of these different scenarios. Because it's so complex. Like, it's so complex. It's not just a straightforward, oh, we're going to launch a marketing campaign. You know, they're literally changing the fabric of societies. Like, they're changing the way people behave, and you can't do that with just like simple one-dimensional thinking.
Much greater depth, but narrowed. You wouldn't have access to material in other fields outside your own area of study without approval. This seemed to be more where he talked about limited access to other fields. I seem to recall that as being more at the college level, high school and college level perhaps. People would be very specialized in their own area of expertise, but they won't be able to get a broad education and won't be able to understand what is going on overall. He was already talking about computers in education, and at that time he said anybody who wanted computer access or access to books that were not directly related to their field of study would have to have a very good reason for so doing, otherwise access would be denied. Another angle was that the school
Yeah, Nick's his phone crashed, so he'll come back in, but yeah, this is definitely like how you would herd animals. Like, and I agree. Um it doesn't even sound human, like the level of detail that they had to come up with. I mean, but they did have a long time, but just the amount of data they had to collect. This is a lot of data you have to collect. Let's keep that in mind. Like whenever you're doing this like complex modeling and all these different scenarios, you have to have a lot of data and you have to be able to process that data really efficiently. So it's just very artificial.
would become more important in people's overall life. Kids, in addition to their academics, would have to get into school activities unless they wanted to feel completely out of it. But spontaneous activities among kids, the thing that came to my mind when I heard this was sandlot football and sandlot baseball teams that we worked up as kids growing up. I said to kids wanting any activities outside of school would be almost forced to get them through the school. There would be few opportunities outside. Now the pressures of the accelerated academic program and accelerated demands where kids would feel they had to be part of something, one or another athletic club or some school activity. These pressures he recognized would cause some students to burn out. Said the small.
So all of this education program just sounds like China, what they have in China right now. Like they go to school, excessive amount of hours. They have all these programs. They literally burn themselves to death. Who is in this think tank? Who drafted these plans? So basically, this is a doctor recalling a talk given by another doctor. And he was the doctor that gave the lecture was in the New World Order system or whatever.
The hardest ones will learn how to cope with the pressures and to survive. There will be some help available to students in handling stress, but the unfit won't be able to make it. They will then move on to other things. In this connection, and later on in the connection with drug abuse and alcohol abuse, indicated that psychiatric services to help would be increased dramatically. In all the pushing for achievement, it was recognized that many people would need help, and the people worth keeping around would be able to accept and benefit from that help and still be super achievers. Those who could not would fall by the wayside and therefore were sort of dispensable, expendable, I guess is the word I want. Education would be lifelong. Adults would be going to school. There will always be new information that adults must have to keep up. When you can't keep up anymore, you're too old. This was another way of letting older people know that the time had come for them to move on and take the demise pill. If you got too tired to keep up with your education, you got too old to learn new information, then this was a signal you begin to prepare to get ready to step aside. In addition to revising the classics, which I alluded to.
I was sorry, I was just commenting, like, I definitely agree with the comment. Club Rico said the New World Order agenda doesn't sound like it's human. Like, it doesn't sound human, and I agree. It's like definitely not a pro-human future. That's not what they're promoting, so it's questionable. Non-humans that are new to humanity, or they would have conquered us long ago. Yeah.
A while ago with revising the Bible, he said some books would just disappear from libraries. This was in the vein that some books contain information or contain ideas that should not be kept around, and therefore those books would disappear. I don't remember exactly if he said how this was to be accomplished, but I seem to recall carrying away the idea that this would include thefts, that certain people would be designated to go to certain libraries and pick up certain books and just get rid of them. Not necessarily as a matter of policy, just simply steal it. Further down the line, not everybody will be allowed to own books, and some books nobody will be allowed to own. Another area of discussion was laws that would be...
I mean, if you think about it, how we have the Kindle and everything set up, you don't really own a lot of the books that you claim to own. They're digital, like they can revoke it at any time. So all of these little points that he's making are things we can practically see in real life, you know, the control of information. That's why I try to buy real books as much as possible, honestly, or have them at least on your computer, but the real version is the best.
Changed. At that time, a lot of states had blue laws about Sunday sales and certain Sunday activities. They said the blue laws would all be repealed. Gambling laws would be repealed or relaxed so that gambling would be increased. Indicated then that governments would get into gambling. We've had a lot of state lotteries pop up around the country since then, and at the time we were already being told that would be the case. Why should all that gambling money be kept in private hands when the state could benefit from it, was the rationale behind it. But people should be able to gamble if they want to, so it would become a civil activity rather than a private or illegal activity. Bankruptcy laws would be changed. I don't remember the details, but just that they would be, and I know subsequent to that time they have been. Antitrust laws would be changed or be interpreted differently, or both. In connection with the changing antitrust laws, there was some statement that, in a sense, competition would be increased. But this would be increased competition within otherwise controlled circumstances. So it's not a free competition. I recall of having the impression that it was like competition, but within members of a club. There would be nobody outside the club who would be able to compete. Sort of like teams competing within a professional sports league. If you're in the NFL or the American or National Baseball leagues, you compete within the league, but the league is all in agreement on what the rules of competition are. Not a really free competition. Drug use would be increased, alcohol abuse would be increased, and law enforcement efforts against drugs would be increased. On first hearing that, it sounded like a contradiction. Why increase drug abuse and simultaneously increase law enforcement against drug abuse? But the idea is that in part the increased availability of drugs would provide a sort of law of the jungle, whereby the weak and the unfit would be selected out. There was a statement made at that time, before the earth was overpopulated, there was a law of the jungle where only the fittest survived. You had to be able to protect yourself against the elements and wild animals and disease, and if you were fit, you survived. But now that we've become so civilized, we're over-civilized, and the unfit are able to survive only at the expense of those who are more fit. And the abuse of drugs then would restore, in a certain sense, the law of the jungle and selection of the fittest for survival. News about drug abuse and law enforcement efforts would tend to keep drugs in the public consciousness, and would also tend to reduce this unwarranted American complacency that the world is a safe place and a nice place.
Wow.
The same thing would happen with alcohol. Alcohol abuse would be both promoted and demoted at the same time. The vulnerable and the weak would respond to the promotions and therefore use and abuse more alcohol. Drunk driving would become more of a problem, and stricter rules about driving under the influence would be established. so that more and more people would lose their privilege to drive.
Wow.
This also had connection with
It's nonstop.
Bars, Layla. Holy
It's
hell.
nonstop. It's like he's just literally articulating all of these different things. And it's hard because it's like, okay, maybe he's just explaining what he's observed that has changed in society. But honestly, a lot of the stuff he's talking about didn't actually happen when he's making this tape. So,
And a lot of it has yet to happen. It's coming right now. Like
exactly.
the euthanasia stuff. I
Yeah.
keep reading articles about like the considerations of when it's you know, empathetic thing or whatever, or humanitarian
Yeah.
thing to let somebody end their life with dignity and stuff like that. Like this stuff
Mm-hmm.
is coming down the pike.
It is.
something we'll get to later about overall restrictions on travel. Not everybody should be free to travel. The
Oh,
way they
wow.
do now in the
What?
United States.
Not everyone should be free to travel.
Boom.
There we go. Okay, well, I think that that is a good place to stop.
I'm about as
need-
fucked up and freaked out as I can be for the night, folks. How about you?
I know. This is insane. This
Sorry,
is
folks.
insane.
We should maybe give you even a bigger pre-warning. This is going to be serious bars.
Yeah, so there's going to be more. We're going to do the rest of the tapes. I'll publish like the schedule or when it comes in, so subscribe to the channel. And we're going to go into the rest of the tapes because this is a really, really interesting outline. Yeah, it's really shocking that this is from 50 years ago. Like, literally.
This half a century ago, guys. This has been going on. And it's come. Nothing he says hasn't come to or seems to be coming to fruition. Everything he says is 50 years ago. This is literally describes the world we're in right now and looking at.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing he said that was inaccurate. Nothing.
No, so yeah, so definitely like this video, subscribe to the channel, check out C3, yeah, there, join his Discord. Like,
guys, come to this Discord. Layla's gonna be running it with me. We're gonna get some serious stuff going on over there. Like I said, it's the digital speakeasy that you can go to and actually have conversations with your real people and not worry about, you know, agents and all that shit being in there. We discern that. We keep them out. It's a great crew, eclectic people, also very smart. We're rallying,
Very
folks.
cool
Come rally with
people.
us.
Yeah, so Julius is like, I should have paid attention to 1984 more seriously.
No,
exactly.
You know what this is, Jules? It's Brave New World, actually. I would allege.
This
See,
is
now
crazy.
the slave class, that's the distinction between 1984 and Brave New World. 1984, they're like kind of like beaten, or like, what's it called? Demoralized into subversion. Whereas in Brave New World, they're made to love their enslavement.
Yeah.
That's where we're at, man. Give me give me the fourth round. Give me the fifth. Give me the sixth.
I know.
I'll learn nothing and be happy.
I got my next one. I got the next round. Yeah.
Take all my shit, George Soros and Klaus Schwab. I'll be just fine. I trust you guys.
Yeah.
I trust you. I'll be happy. The fuck out of here, New World Order.
Yeah.
Coming for you.
Crazy.
Coming for you guys.
Yeah. It's
you made Frankenstein's monster of me. It's on now, guys.
It is. It is.
But
it's coming out. But the thing is, they can't anticipate like all the incredible creativity humanity has.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we're still not China. As long as we're not China, we're good.
China.
I know.
I said it because it comes from China. China.
How can you not appreciate that humor? All right, you guys. Like, subscribe, everything. We'll be back soon with tape number 2.